Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the man of tomorrow, Kyle Charles.
And the hybrid clone of Superman and Lex Luthor, CY Chung.
And we are back to end sort of our little special episodes on the CW verse or the Arrowverse, which I like to call it,
Yep.
and talk about its newest show, Superman and Lois, which we watched over the week through VPNs, as we don't support illegally downloading, and neither should you because it's bad. It gets
Yeah.
people out of jobs. Just saying.
And how can they, if they don't make money, how can they make more episodes?
Exactly. That's how good shows get stopped because of pirating or films. I can't remember. Whatever.
But yeah, Superman and Lois, the latest, newest show from the CW.
Yep.
Looks like it has a very high budget.
Yeah. It gave me this sort of vibe of Stargirl because it's filmed the same. You wouldn't believe it's a TV show because like Arrow and Flash and that they look good, but you can tell they're a TV show, right?
Yeah.
But this and Stargirl have like wide shots of like awesomeness. That sounds really weird.
Yeah.
And like the set designs are really cool. So it makes you wonder what the budget on the show is.
Well, like you were saying, I assumed because it's going to be their new flagship show and it's Superman. That was the reason why the budget was so high and it looks so good. However, if you're telling me Stargirl is also like that, I'm like, oh, okay. How many episodes is Stargirl? Because I read this was going to be 13 episodes, which makes sense. If you're going to have a budget that high,
Yeah.
then you can and you only got a half the amount of the episodes that usually are in a
Yeah.
series. You know, you can afford to spend more.
Stargirl was 13 episodes as well, I believe.
Oh,
Wasn't
okay,
that long?
maybe they had the same idea with that.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, cool. I liked how. Okay, I want to say this is like a fresh take on Superman, but he's persona is more traditional Superman.
Mm.
However, now he's looking after teenage kids,
Yeah, boys.
and like, okay, this is a scenario we not have seen Superman in media,
Yeah, no, no.
and especially not in a TV show.
Nah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It sets itself away from the other Arrowverse shows, except for Black Lightning, because obviously he's a man with two kids as well.
Yeah.
Well, a teenage kid and
Funny
an adult
enough,
kid.
though, before Crisis happened,
Yeah, he had one kid.
he only had one baby kid.
Yeah,
Superman, and even a couple of years before that, he wasn't even married to Lois. He proposed to her. Now they've been married for 16 plus years because the kids.
12 years, I think they said. So unless they had the kid before marriage,
Yeah.
who knows?
Or
Yeah.
unless you're getting mixed up with how in Supergirl season 1, he said he'd been on making an appearance as his first appearance as Superman was 12 years ago,
Yeah, I could be wrong, to be fair.
and that was at season 1. So it's been 17 years
Yeah,
because he's from season 5 to now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're probably right. I think I got that wrong.
But logically, they could have teenage kids as well. It makes
Yeah,
sense. I like the
very
idea of
messed
like,
up.
okay, they it's the traditional kind of drama they need
Hmm.
because you're gonna have a teenage audience at some point. The teenage drama, the stuff like that, going to school, whatever.
Yeah,
Fair
you need
enough. But it's a fresh take of Clark actually being a dad.
that. Yeah, and dealing with having maybe superpower kids, which
Yeah.
no one else has really sort of dealt with that except for his parents.
Yeah, and
R.I.P.
they eliminated his parents
Yep, straight
from
away.
the series. Because basically, I say that because it's in the flashback at the very beginning. Is Jonathan Kent has the heart attack,
Yeah,
and then at the very beginning of this, Martha Kent dies of stroke.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like fair enough to get them to Smallville,
yeah,
get the kids out of the box that they were the comfortable box in the city that they were in.
yeah.
Probably more expensive to film in the city, in a fake
Yeah.
city, than in the countryside wherever they filmed Smallville, and that sort of
Yeah.
area. Like, okay, fine, all acceptable. But again, it freshens things up for the kid as well, because it's like whatever they're used to there.
Yeah, it's completely different here, especially now that Smallville was a meth lab central of America, apparently.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah. Overall, though, I like the series. The suit, okay. Let's criticize the superficiality stuff first, right?
Yeah.
And we go into the story.
Yeah.
I like the actors.
Yep, actors are great. Even the kids, they're alright.
Yeah. The Superman suit though looks a bit too round and buff in the upper body area.
Yeah.
Because even the guys out of the suit, the guys built Tyler Hoechlin.
Yeah.
But I think so when he wears casual clothes, I want to say, they're a bit loose, but it's like clearly he's not got the same fill.
Yeah.
As the costume supposedly is on it where his skin is,
Yeah.
If it looked like an actual suit, like not saying the Atom suit or one of the other CW suits,
Yeah.
Which are clearly suits, then you can be like, okay, fair enough. I can see why the shape is the shape it is.
Yeah.
Or even the previous Superman suit he had in Supergirl.
Yeah.
But this is meant to be like, I don't want to see the old spandex over a skin suit. It just looks like, it's over an actual bodysuit.
Yeah, it looks weird.
Looks too big for his body.
Yeah.
It's still shots, it looks good though.
Yeah, it's still shots and stuff, it looks good. But then when you see him move, because there's like a bit where he gets up, it's got obviously the fake abs.
Yeah.
You sort of see them fold in, not like how real abs would. So like, you can tell that's padding. That looks a bit weird.
Yeah, I think they just look. I think if they took down some of the padding where it doesn't look too buff, it'd have been fine.
Yeah. Because besides that, like you said, the suit looks great. I like the suit.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about the suit is how the cape is.
Do you prefer the fasteners that he had in the Supergirl series?
Yeah.
In the crossovers?
Yeah, I prefer that.
Yeah.
I think that's comfortable.
Yeah. It just looked different from the traditional suits, the ones with the clasps.
Yeah. Which I have no problem with, but yeah,
it just gave it. It just modernized kind of. Though I did like the cameo of the first ever suit.
Yeah, I like that.
That during the flashback at the beginning.
But you know what they should have done as well? They should have like a middle like flashback scene where he's wearing the suit from like Supergirl. Yeah. Yeah. So it's was a thing, but that's just me.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, I'll tell you what the odd thing is he had his memories put back by the Martian Manhunter at the end of Crisis. Yeah. However, all his memories here are from the New Earth.
Yeah.
As though that stuff didn't happen.
Yeah, that was another thing.
It would have been a lot of confusion though if you said, okay, this happened and that happened, and just streamline it is fine, right?
Yeah.
But to kind of pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Odd.
Unless they fused his memories, so it sort of filled in the blanks. But then again, needs to explain that, don't you?
Yeah. I think the way they did it was kind of like the best way they could do it. They just had to kind of ignore.
Yeah.
What going to be too detailed to put in there.
Yeah. Unless it's for people who didn't watch the other stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe, like, for us, all the stuff that happened before is still there, but they'll probably slightly mention it later on rather than hit you in the back in the first episode with all that stuff. Because then that will throw away, like, new viewers. Like, the excess baggage.
Yeah. Because I suppose if you could word it like my first memories on this earth or something like that, but then it's just like it's a bit tricky.
Yeah.
Are you gonna? Anyways, but look, what they did was what they did, and you're like, okay, it's fine with that 4-minute flashback stuff to get the story going.
Yeah. It was a long flashback.
Well, I wouldn't say it was necessarily 4 minutes long, but it's just like how Lois and Clark meet and everything like that. But I think it was the entire that first 5 minutes was to settle down to the point where then we get the rest of the series going.
Yeah.
The rest of the episode going.
Yeah. It's quick up to speed sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I did like the villain they had for that episode, where it's a mystery villain. You don't know who it is, what it looks like, and whatever. So that was good hook to keep you in. And then at the end, the reveal is Captain Luthor, which means it's a Lex Luthor from another.
You don't know if it's a Lex Luthor. It's a Luthor.
Oh, okay. Good point. Good point. Good point.
Because I also was like, okay, it's a Luthor, and you know how they've done how many different bloody Luthors through adoption or whatever there are. So
yeah, just a quick recap. We'll be like, so they go back to Smallville.
Yep.
Because Martha Kent died, and they're kind of the funeral and all that stuff.
Yeah.
As they're dealing with stuff, the family's trying to settle down.
Yeah.
He's dealing with the nuclear power plants. Something's going on. Something shady.
Yeah.
And the kids are trying to adapt to farm life-ish.
And also, we're going through one of the sons is a jock. Not a jock, but he's athletic and sporty and that. And the other one has like anxiety issues.
Yep.
And one of them they think is exhibiting powers. They think it's John, the jock son, who's sort of manifesting powers, and they don't want to tell the kids that Clark is Superman, because if they do, they don't want Jordan, the other son, to feel even less connected to the family.
Yeah,
which is I think it's a pretty good dynamic.
Yeah,
especially this sort of twist comes later.
Yeah. So I was getting to exactly, but that leads me to the other bit where Superman is dealing with armored Lex Luthor, or wherever you want to go, the mystery villain for the episode,
Doom Guy / Master Chief.
Yeah, and he stabs Superman with a kryptonite knife.
Yep. And
Superman then falls to Earth.
Yep.
Here's his sons are in trouble and pulls a kryptonite and spear out, whatever it is, dagger out of himself. Yeah. Then flies over to Smallville.
Yeah. Gets
changed behind a fire truck, which makes perfect sense there.
Yeah.
But then it's like, wait a minute. The kryptonite, Luthor, you left your weapon inside another guy. You didn't stab him and pull it out.
Yeah.
Right. So you lost your kryptonite, whatever. But Superman, how do you manage to pull out a kryptonite and not, I'd be all right to fly over to Smallville to whatever.
Like, I've always been like an adversary for the whole him being able to do stuff under the power of kryptonite. Like, I'm a big supporter of him picking up the kryptonite in Superman Returns.
Yeah.
Because, it's a life or death situation. He's overcome that.
But Superman Returns. Okay, yeah. All right.
But
okay, I thought
this,
Superman, which
I don't start with that. But
okay, well, all right. I tell you what. I mean, it kind of is acceptable because the dagger was pretty small, but it was in his heart.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is where it's a bit. I'm like, I get you took it out and you flew to back to Kansas for your kids, but he should have shown at least some like. After you found him, like, oh, okay, you guys are fine, and be like, ow, that hurt.
Yeah. So if, say, for example, not in the heart, because that's where he did get stabbed, and somehow he was still able. But say you got stabbed in the side, right? Then I can accept he falls down.
Yeah.
Maybe hits the ground and he's trying to scramble to pull it out, right? He throws it off and then he can get up, but he's still wounded and staggering away. When you stab a dude in the heart, though, that's kind of like.
That's what I was like.
Where'd you go from there?
Yeah, you're. I get what you're trying to do, and in any other scenario, I'll be perfectly behind you guys. But where he got stabbed, no. Unless that was like a tiny blade, but it wasn't.
If it was coated with kryptonite rather than actual made of kryptonite, maybe fair enough as well.
Yeah. But television.
Yeah, but like, I like the whole thing though.
Yeah, I like the whole show.
I like how Lana's husband is a fire chief.
Yeah. And
he got a bit mouthy with Clark when he was drunk. But I accept that because you're like, all right, if you look at it this way, right? He's seen some dark stuff.
Yeah.
Like he, I think he referenced it or something like that. But
His
burning.
daughter does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, you know what? This guy's he's got some sort of issues with his job is like just not too much for him, but he's seen shit that you don't need to see.
Yeah.
Melting bodies and stuff. So I could get why he's got a bit of an attitude.
Yeah.
Because later on when Clark sees him, and he's putting out the fire.
Yeah.
And like they have a kind of more civil chat there. Not necessarily chat, but he kind of nods at him and stuff like that. And, oh, where's my child? He goes, look, he's over there. It's like, and Clark says to him, thanks. And the guy's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. Oh, God.
No, like that stuff. Yeah, that's cool. But there's certain little weird bits that again I can overlook, like the whole Lana not knowing his Superman, because like in all other medias and stuff, she knows that he's Superman.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a bit weird, but I was like, okay, get over it.
I'm gonna say that. I don't know. I'm gonna play like this, right? Until we hear otherwise.
Yeah.
Maybe she does know, but she is not showing that she knows.
Yeah, could be
because she doesn't know who knows and who doesn't know.
Yeah, but then there's that bit with Lois. Like, I'm pretty sure his wife should know that he's Superman. But yeah, I get what you mean.
I mean, well, she don't know if his kids also know and stuff like that. So I kind of like. I mean, like you're saying, I assume. I mean, Lana should know, but he hasn't told his kids, and they're 16 years old.
Yeah, but they are kids, and kids are stupid sometimes.
And Lana will probably not have told her own husband that.
Yeah, of course.
Superman. So she's just like, you could say she's treading that fine line where she's not going to say anything in case.
Yeah, but I reckon she might know. We get
confirmation one way or the other.
Yeah,
I'm going to pretend that she does know.
Yeah. I think that's going to come up later on. To like, or he's going to tell her. It's like, yeah, I've always known.
Oh yeah, maybe that will do as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. There's another scene where his Jordan.
Yep.
Uses his heat vision and blows up like a. Okay, so the bullies, as you know, these series have. So he kisses a girl because he assumes that she's single.
Yeah.
Because she has anxiety issues as well.
Yeah.
And he assumed that she invited her to hang out because she was interested in him. He kisses her. Bully Jock obviously walks over and says, "What are you doing to my girl?" Dude's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. She had a boyfriend." The Jonathan comes over and look. There's no need to be an issue here, and then everyone starts having a ruck because that's how these things roll. It seems. So then Jordan is like watching his brother get beat up while he's down. Stares at the fire barrel that's lighting up the place.
Yeah.
Heat vision, it blows up. That's where the fire goes on that we were saying before.
Yeah.
Now, personally, all these kids nowadays with their phones, why wouldn't they just been obvious?
Yeah.
They would have recorded it, or someone would have seen it.
Yeah.
My logic is, let's just say that's probably for the viewer.
Yeah.
See where the heat come from, right?
Yeah.
So we know that Jordan has powers now. Logically speaking, though, you could have filmed it this way, where you had the shot of Jonathan getting stomped on, which is happening.
Yeah.
Switch the shot back to Jordan, who's looking. Switch it back, and the barrel's just behind, kind of like the barrel's behind Jonathan at a certain distance, but it starts getting redder and redder.
Yeah.
And then you switch back to Jordan, where his eyes are going red. So you're like, okay, there must be the heat vision. Then that thing blows up. Then afterwards, the thing blows up. His eyes kind of power down. You could have got the same idea without blatantly having heat vision being shown.
Yeah, but it doesn't look as good.
Oh yeah, but then logically, like we were saying before, how can everyone not see this beam of light from this dude's eyes?
Yeah, or someone being in the way of that beam and being shredded to pieces. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So, but like the overall episodes, like how for some reason he decided not to tell his kids that he's Superman.
Yeah.
For ages, but then the logic of the series, this is the first episode they kind of had to.
Yeah.
And the kids obviously assume that he's just bumbling Clark. That they've only ever known him as.
Yeah. Especially when they said, whenever he puts up a Christmas tree, he always falls over. I'm like, huh, he's very committed to this, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But obviously, this is a series about how the kids are going to adapt to Smallville.
Yeah.
As well as when whoever gets the powers, how they're going to adapt as well, and then he's got to show them as Superman how to control themselves.
Yeah.
So logic being that,
yeah,
when they came back from the funeral, Martha's funeral,
yeah,
and or they were trying to climb up to get the router or something like that.
Yeah, to turn off the router and turn it back on. Yeah.
And then all the metal cylinders fell.
Yeah.
Jordan saved Jonathan.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan ran in there to save Jordan, but then Jordan turned it around.
Yeah.
And saved him. That's a perfectly logical point for where you would tell your kids you are Superman as well. Because they get hurt and it kind of made sense.
Yeah.
And they want to save that stuff for the series anyway. So how can you dispute how they're going to do it?
Yeah.
Because if they'd known before, then you wouldn't get the. I want to say the drama wouldn't need to be there.
Yeah.
But what they would need to film that entire section is just like cheat the audience of how that transition worked.
Yeah, it was a bit. The other little weird thing as well. I'm quite interested to see. It's not weird, but I'm quite interested to see where it goes. Like, why is Morgan Edge buying up all of like Smallville and everything else sort of related to Superman, like the Daily Planet and all that? I want to see where that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I do hope that Lex and Morgan Edge aren't the same. Like, they're not part of the same plot.
Yeah.
They're not plotting together, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, just two individuals just happen to have separate
agendas
issues with this guy.
Yeah.
And maybe they end up colluding towards the end of it because they can't resolve it themselves. But if they both start with like, okay, here's the problem.
Yeah.
And we're all in it together from, the start.
It was us all along.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Vinnie Mac style.
Yeah, I don't want that. Never.
But no, I like the episode. I think it started off on the right foot.
Yeah, it started off really good.
It sets up the issues that are going to have later on. The jock wasn't the special one, which is kind of like, oh, that's cool because it's the guy with the anxiety issue.
Yeah.
But that gives a bit more of how are you going to deal with these things?
Yeah.
To Superman, like how are we going to keep control of this kid who might just not flip out any moment, but just like the guy is not in a
emotional state. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I already have my predictions what's going to happen with all that, and I think I've said it to you before.
Yeah.
Like, one of his kids are going to turn evil. It's a guarantee.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say yes or no, but I can kind of see something happening, and there's probably a reason why they gave Jordan the one of the most. There's probably a reason why they gave one of the emotional instabilities.
Yeah.
Powers.
They're both gonna get I reckon they're both gonna have powers.
Oh, you reckon the other one's gonna get powers?
Yeah, he's gonna get powers as well. But Jordan's sort of, I reckon he got his powers first because, like with mutants or whatever, there's always like an emotional trigger that sets off their powers.
Yeah.
And obviously him trying to protect his brother that day triggered these powers.
Yeah.
And I think John is going to get his powers later on. They're going to come like naturally rather than spare on a moment life or death thing like with Jordan.
Oh, no, I was going to say something. When you finished.
Yeah, I'll finish. Go on.
Okay, right. Now, I thought it was kind of funny to the end where they're like, Clark and Lois are like, oh, we're going to stay in Smallville for a while. We wanted to have this conversation with you guys.
Yeah.
At dinner, but we're just letting you know in advance. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you basically just told the kids you're staying there. There's no conversation.
There's no conversation.
Yeah,
It's not like they have a choice.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we just give you time process. Like this is happening with, or they were like, oh, we're thinking of staying. We're like, no, if you're gonna have the conversation with kids, you have the conversation with the kids.
Yeah.
But you already know what you're gonna do, and they can't.
They can't say no, can they?
Exactly.
They
So
say,
like,
no,
you
Dad,
know,
let's stay.
yeah,
Let's go back to Metropolis.
I just want to say that's funny because I don't want to say that's how parents do, but
it is.
yeah, exactly. It is. It's one of those. Oh yeah, well we're gonna do this, but we're gonna see what you think. Even though we're still gonna do this.
Yeah, we've already sold our house in Metropolis and everything, but we thought we'd run it by you, have a conversation. Even though we've like 100% already committed to this change, but
exactly, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And like you say, the kids aren't gonna exactly. I mean, they're not gonna go back to Metropolis. How can they live there by themselves with no? Like, what's their income? You know what I mean?
Exactly. They're only 14, so it's not like they're at working age either. So
exactly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So that was all cool because it sets up the rest of the episodes.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, same. I want to see as well if they're going to try and say that this isn't set in the same universe as all the others, or is this its own self-contained little thing, which should be kind of silly if it is.
I think it can, and it doesn't need to be, but it can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to say it is, not going to say it isn't. They're just going to be like,
if it comes up,
they're over there in Smallville.
Yeah.
They don't need to. I mean, he could probably cross over to their episodes or something like that. Right?
Yeah.
But then they don't need to go to him because if it was Metropolis, it'd be a different thing.
Yeah.
Then I need to go to the city at some point. But how often is a hero going to be going to
Backtown, Smallville?
Yeah, exactly.
But apparently, I don't know how true this is.
Yeah.
John Diggle's in one of these episodes of Lois.
Well, here's the funny thing: he's going to live in Metropolis, right?
Yeah.
So that's fair enough. If they need to go if Clark ever needs to go to Metropolis sometime, he can bump into Diggle as Green Lantern.
Yeah. So I'd be interested to see. I'd like to see him, team up with Barry. That'd be pretty cool. Or at least have a weird little crossover.
Yeah, we'll see about that because those episodes have to come out yet. But I do wonder how much the budget is going to be for Green Lantern to be able to do the stuff that he should be able to do, and whether he actually does do it or not.
That's even if he turns up as Green Lantern.
Sorry?
That's even if he turns up as Green Lantern as well.
Yeah. He might just turn up with the ring.
Yeah.
And just use your standard beams or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not really. I don't know. It's not what you when you have a ring that can do anything. You just expect a bit more.
Yeah, you would. That's why Green Lantern's not a really good hero for a TV show when you got a budget.
Yeah.
It's limited.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but okay. As for this series, very interested to see where it goes.
Yeah. I want to see if it's still filmed the same way in the next episode as well.
Yeah. Have they must reduce the budget somehow because if I remember correctly, the Flash 1990 series. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, I watched that.
The first episode I think costs about $6 million or something. They said.
Oh wow!
I don't know if that's including pre-production, all the costumes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the series was like $2 million or something like that per episode.
Okay.
So we'll have to see how much the budget gets not knocked down, but what they can and can't do with what they have, money-wise.
It's really interesting. I can't wait to see.
It's good. It's probably good for them, like they say, is take place in small, but they don't need to do too many things that aren't city-based.
Yeah, we have to lock down like a street, and that probably costs money and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Any other comments on the actual story?
Not really. It's sort of easy to digest.
As a pilot episode, I think it's pretty good. It sets up a lot of things.
Yeah.
For continuation.
Yeah. That's the other thing. This is the first time I've actually seen Superman and Lois's dad get on? Because if I remember correctly, ain't they always sort of like butting heads?
Yes. We'll put it this way though. He knows who Superman is.
Yeah.
So, and he knows how he can help.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Yeah, it's a good take. I'm saying like, it's the first time I've seen it.
And I think at this point as well, they're married as well. So
yeah.
And he wants to see his grandkids, so he's not going to have it with Superman. But I think as Sam Lane goes, as far as he goes, I think there's I want to say a tamer version, but at a point they've interacted for 20 plus years, probably 20 about just under 20 years at some point. Character evolution, we'll just say. It's probably at the beginning they were having beef, and now they don't need to. They've gone past those issues.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
it's still like a new, fresh, interesting take on.
Yeah, because you change these things, all these sort of things. Like look at in Flash, Joe West. Pretty sure he didn't exist in the comics, but he does now, and he's Barry's adopted father. Yeah, and that worked that well. So I'm on board with slight little changes. It's all good.
Cool, nice.
They shouldn't have killed off.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with you about the other kid getting powers, because it'd be just cool to have one of them have powers, one of them not. But
yeah, he's gonna get powers, I reckon. But I don't know if they'd be the same powers, because for we know, they only might get half of his powers. So, for example, say Jordan gets the heat beams and strength, but John might get flight and another one of Superman's abilities. You know what I mean? So it might sort of spice it up there. I do kind of agree with you that I think at some point Jordan's going to not go rogue, but there's going to be something where Superman has to. I don't want to say pimp slap him, but you know what I mean? Nah,
Taylor's kid somewhat. It's going to be a bit out of control for one sort of mental issue or another. You know?
I reckon
they don't have it for no reason. They'll just probably put it to a certain point where it is completely. He needs to stop him, not stop him but he needs to stop him causing whatever destruction because he's lashing out.
But you never know. It might be John that might go rogue because he's used to getting the attention, and now that
that's true.
Jordan, which makes more of a better story in a way. Rather if it's Jordan that goes off the hinges, it's a bit obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if it's John, the kid who's used to getting the attention and is now second place chump, builds up some drama.
Oh yeah. We'll have to see. I mean, we're all speculating.
Just speculations. Because it kind of remind me of in the Flash comics when Wally West had kids and Iris kept her powers, but Jay lost his powers. Then he started becoming a recluse, and then they never followed up with it because New 52.
Yeah,
but
but that'll be that. I mean, that's okay. We that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah, it is. Have to wait and see.
But I think a cool fresh take.
Yeah.
On I don't want to say necessarily an old idea.
In a way, certain extents, an old idea. No,
but it's a character. They pushed him into a territory that he's usually not in.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's good.
I'm on board.
Yeah. Yep. Can't wait to watch the rest of it.
Yep. It's gonna be great. Hopefully. No, I'm optimistic. I think it's gonna be good.
Okay, so that's us for this episode of Trip Around the Multiverse. I am the last remnant of a dying planet, CY Chung.
And I am the Luther of Earth 4, Carl Charles.
All right. Okay, fair enough.
It's the first thing that came to my head.
And we'll see you guys on...
another special show.
Well, I'm going to say because it's even a podcast or the extra special episodes, but we'll see you on one of those or the other, right?
Yeah, but I hope you enjoy. If you let us know your thoughts on Superman and Lois if you've seen it in the comment section below, or give us a tweet or whatever. All that goodness.
Yeah.
Connectivity. Yep. That's what the kids say. I don't know. And we're signing off, and catch you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.